Power Wash Dish Spray, what are you waiting for? It's Dawn's fastest and easiest way to clean everyday dishes. You just spray, wipe, and rinse. It cleans 5 times faster to actually break down grease on contact. So spray your dishes clean with Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray.
And this is how we load the mix-ins into Blue Bunny's loaded treats. Who wants to do the...
Oh, me!
Each one is loaded to the last bite.
Mix-ins!
Blue Bunny, we make fun.
Tomorrow on ET, our Abby Lee Miller exclusive. Why she's calling out her fellow dance moms.
Shame on you. After what I did for you, for your children.
And is Abby Lee ready to start dating?
You know, I like them young.
Abby Lee looking for a tenderoni. I'm just saying. Listen, before we go, let's check back in with Rachel Smith at Madame Tussauds New York in Times Square because Maluma's wax figure needs to go in their Hall of Fame, Rachel. Wow.
Yes, it does, Nichelle, for so many reasons. But check.
Happening now.
Pumping gas ends in gunfire after a failed carjacking attempt, but it's the suspect who's in the hospital now. How it all unfolded and the latest details from police next.
Mayor Ron Nirenberg promising property tax relief during today's State of the City address. What that could look like.
I'll be back with a look at how much rain fell and where, and we'll talk about how much warmer it's going to get for the rest of the week in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
After a lot of negotiating, San Antonio police officers have approved a new union contract that would make it harder for fired officers to get their jobs back on appeal.
But it would also boost officers' pay by nearly 16% over 4 years. The city and police union struck the tentative deal at the negotiating table almost 2 months ago. Today, the union announced that 86% of its membership that cast a ballot had voted to ratify that contract.
The contract would run through September of 2026, but it needs council approval before it would go into effect. The San Antonio Police Officers Association says it was their transparency that led to this contract.
Education and making sure that the needs of the officers, our members, and the city were heard. Collectively, it was a group consensus, right? Not only us, but city leadership, and we were able to work together in a timely fashion.
Officer discipline took center stage in the more than year-long negotiations. For more information on what's in the contract or to read it yourself, you can head to our website right now, KSAT.com.
An apparent carjacking at a gas station did not go according to plan on the north side. In fact, that suspect is in the hospital after taking multiple gunshots. Max Massey on the scene at the Quick Trip at Ramsey in San Pedro, where this terrifying situation took place.
Police tell us this attempted carjacking ended with a fight in a moving vehicle and then multiple gunshots. Take a look behind us. Investigators still combing through all the evidence, trying to figure out what exactly happened.
It was an attempted carjacking, and the victim in that produced a gun and shot at the suspect who was trying to take his car.
This all started just before 10 a.m. when the driver of this blue Honda Accord was trying to just get gas.
Our victim was pumping gas, and while pumping gas, that suspect went around the pump and jumped in to the victim's vehicle. The victim saw that and jumped inside to stop him.
The driver of the Accord tried to stop the suspect. A fight began inside the moving vehicle.
The suspect was able to reverse the vehicle to where you see it now, there on the side of the road.
During the fight, we're told the driver of the Accord was able to pull out his own gun.
He produced a firearm and shot the suspect an unknown amount of times.
That suspect who was shot was transported to the hospital in critical condition. And the driver of this Accord now working with investigators. Police tell me that the attempted carjacker was shot multiple times. As for what is left of the blue Honda Accord at the scene, we count what looks like at least 4 bullet holes in the driver's side window. This investigation is ongoing, so make sure to stay with us online and on air for more information. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
As thousands of homeowners rush to protest their property appraisals, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg promising property tax relief is coming, at least on the city portion of your bill. The mayor made the comments during his State of the City address this afternoon. City Hall reporter Garrett Berger was there. So, Garrett, what exactly will this mean for homeowners?
Well, Steve, we don't know exactly, at least not yet. Beyond the general promise that City Council will consider proposals, Mayor Ron Nirenberg didn't have many details in today's State of the City address. But this is something we've heard before. In fact, he said something similar about 2 weeks ago as City Council took up the beginning of their budget discussions. Now, the city is anticipating that these skyrocketing property values you're all seeing could blow city tax revenues past a state-imposed cap. That means it has to find a way to rein back on tax bills or face an election on the tax rate. Now, officials have discussed two options that we've heard so far: cutting the tax rate overall and increasing the city's homestead exemption, which currently sits at the minimum of a flat rate $5,000, but it could be raised up to a 20% exemption. Now, the mayor indicated it probably won't be an either-or choice on relief.
So it's going to be a combination of both in all likelihood, and we're going to use those exemptions to try to target the relief as best we can. But we do know that there's tax relief coming for the city portion of the bill, which is the only portion we can control. We're going to work on that so we can strike it at the FY23 budget.
Now, the mayor talked about moving forward with relief this fall, which is when the city generally sets the tax rate. However, if City Council wants to make an increased homestead exemption count for this year's tax bills, they have to pass that before July. Now, it's not the only housing issue that the mayor talked about today. Coming up at 6, we'll talk about some of the tools he spoke of when speaking of rebuilding and recovering from the pandemic. Live downtown, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. The San Antonio Police Department says it was lost luggage at the center of a Greyhound bus stabbing where 2 people were injured overnight. That incident happening just before 3 a.m. at the Greyhound station at the corner of North St. Mary's and East Martin Streets. The 49-year-old suspect allegedly stabbed the bus driver in the back. And when the security guard tried to intervene, police say the suspect allegedly stabbed him in the chest. They were transported to the hospital. That suspect now expected to face charges. A Greyhound bus spokesperson releasing this statement on the incident, saying, in part, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with our impacted team members. We're working closely with local law enforcement as they continue to investigate at this time," end quote.
It's a mystery that's never been solved. What happened to 18-month-old Joshua Davis? It's the topic of the first episode of our South Texas Crime Stories podcast, the series hosted by KSAT reporters Erica Hernandez and Lee Waldman. Joshua Davis disappeared from a home with 7 other people inside the house. The breakdown on how that family went from getting sympathy to becoming prime suspects. You can listen to the episode right now on KSAT.com.
If you have kids, you already know about this. The nationwide infant formula shortage has parents scrambling. They're driving from store to store, even hitting up social media trying to feed their babies. With no end in sight, 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris now takes a look at what parents should and absolutely should not be doing.
Infant formula is a precious commodity, and the hunt is stressing moms out.
You go to 2, 3, 4 stores in a day, and the shelves are completely empty.
This is what parents are up against. Even when formula is in stock, stores are rationing, leading to desperate times for Brandy Sloan and her newly adopted baby.
It's been insane. This is the only thing your baby can have. It's not like you can just give them a Happy Meal.
Why the extreme shortages? Well, first there were pandemic supply chain problems. Then February's big recall of popular formulas made it worse.
Abbott Nutrition says it is prioritizing production to help replenish the supply, even air shipping Similac Advanced Powder from its Ireland plant. In the meantime, what's a mom to do?
So looking for a store-bought generic or looking for another brand is what we've been encouraging most patients to do, and to get as close as what they were on as possible.
Pediatrician Courtney Smith says many babies transition well, others don't. So talk to your pediatrician for guidance and even samples. What not to do? She says do not dilute formula.
It can absolutely cause severe problems for babies if you water down the formula. Anything from calorie content to electrolyte imbalances. So we absolutely advise against watering down formula.
Also, try shopping smaller stores. Shop online from reputable retailers and network. Brandy's friends not only mailed her a few cans.
I actually had some friends who graciously donated some of their frozen breast milk. So that actually saved us and got us through, because I don't know what we would have done otherwise.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Storm total at the airport, officially San Antonio 0.93. Now, since midnight today at 0.22, but just under an inch of good soaking rainfall officially at the airport. But big changes in rainfall accumulations otherwise. As you can see from this map here, the contours, the colors, the oranges and yellows indicate the higher rainfall amounts. In Leon Springs, Roland's backyard, 0.8 inches. You get to Panna Maria, 2.2 inches storm total. And even New Braunfels, Michael's backyard, 2.1 inches. Elsewhere, just some locations, just a few hundredths of an inch. So, of course, as usual around here, the haves and have-nots with the precipitation. I'll have another breakdown along with the comparison to the drought monitor in a bit. Mostly cloudy this evening, a few sprinkles, but that's it. Not going to measure up to anything. Comfortable in the 60s. See you in a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Vice President Kamala Harris testing positive for COVID today. The White House saying she has no symptoms, has not been in close contact with President Joe Biden. Meanwhile, Biden today rolled out an ambitious new plan to expand availability to life-saving treatment for adults, Paxlovid. The supply initially limited, but the White House has ordered enough of the pills for 20 million people in the coming months. President Biden wants to reassure doctors that there is ample supply coming and wants to distribute them directly to pharmacies to boost the availability, similarly to how they did with the COVID-19 vaccines.
Fruits and vegetables, they're a key part of a healthy lifestyle, and the Gonzaba Medical Group is making sure that seniors have just that. Today, they hosted a produce giveaway event at St. Gregory the Great Catholic Church. 100 produce bags were given out while supplies last. They include items like apples, cucumbers, potatoes, and more.
Because we know that this pandemic is affecting everybody. So that's why Gonzaba does these type of events to help the community, to help our seniors to get in good shape, in good life. I know sometimes this is a little bit expensive. So that's why Gonzaba does it for you guys, so you can have a very healthy and good life.
If you missed out on this one, don't worry. The group is planning to host more food giveaways for the community.
Things at the border might look different in less than a month after Title 42 expires. The preparation being outlined now for when the pandemic-related asylum restrictions may be gone.
And a live look outside with your traffic authority. And this is I-35 at Main Street. You can see traffic moving along pretty good in all directions on the upper and the lower decks. Quite a difference from how this looked yesterday.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the KSAT newsroom. Let's talk about stories we're working on right now for the news at 6. She is accused of trying to hire someone to kill her boyfriend's sister. But the person she allegedly hoped would do that job was an undercover police officer. We're in court today as this trial got underway. We'll talk about the evidence that prosecutors shared and what was heard on audio recordings that were played in court. Plus, it is late April, hardly a time when we think about the flu, but it's still going around. After 2+ years of COVID concerns and confusion, there's reason to ask your doctor for a flu test if you've got symptoms. We'll explain why. Those stories and more coming up in less than an hour when we see you on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. We want to take you now to the fallout over Title 42. A federal judge announcing his intention to pause the Biden administration's rollback of that measure.
This decision, which allowed the Border Patrol to expel nearly anyone encountered along the southwest border using the threat of COVID-19 to deny migrants the chance to seek asylum, is set to expire on May 23rd.
ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on this development.
A federal judge says he intends to issue a temporary restraining order preventing the Biden administration from lifting Title 42. It's the Trump-era public health order which allowed Border Patrol to turn away migrants to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The CDC had planned to lift Title 42 next month, prompting concern that it could lead to a flood of new migrants trying to cross the southern border. Republicans are holding up President Biden's request for more COVID-19 funding unless Title 42 stays in place. Some Republicans say saying they recognize the hypocrisy of calling for some other COVID policies to end while fighting for this one to remain.
You can make that argument, and it's hard to say that it isn't, but when it gets to be so immense, you probably ought to look at anything that is helping control the flow.
The judge temporarily blocking Title 42 as administration officials today outline their preparations for the end of the measure ahead of the May 23rd expiration date. The judge's decision just as the Congressional Hispanic Caucus met with President Joe Biden about Title 42 and a host of other immigration issues.
There's ample vaccines available. There is the ability to test and quarantine that work. And so Title 42 should be lifted and that we should focus on border management policy.
However, Republicans on Capitol Hill and some moderate Democrats want to extend the order, citing a lack of planning by the Biden administration for the projected surge in migrants. But the White House says there are mitigation plans already in motion.
The Department of Homeland Security has projected that there could be an increase in people coming to the border, and that's why they've had a multi-part plan and proposal and policy they've been implementing for months now.
And we're expected to learn more about those plans this Thursday when Alejandro Mayorkas, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, testifies before the House Judiciary Committee. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Live cam outside right now. What a beautiful day. 73 degrees. Got some rain this morning.
For a while, it looked like we weren't even going to get into the 70s.
Yeah, cleared out nicely.
Yeah, we had a few breaks in the clouds, and that helped boost temperatures a little bit. And overall, a comfortable evening. The rain is done for now. You might get a stray sprinkle or two, but that's going to be it. Very insignificant, hardly even noticeable. A comfortable night, mostly spent in the 60s, and then back to 90 degrees in a few days, back to reality. But let's take a look at our drought monitor, and then I'm going to overlay the recent rainfall on top of it. So this is the drought monitor. Obviously, we've been talking about this for weeks. A good portion of our area, South and Central Texas, in extreme and exceptional drought. Those dark red colors on the screen. Well, you look at the radar over the past basically 36 hours, and you see some pretty good coverage. Of course, it didn't hit everybody that needed the rainfall, but particularly look around Cotulla right there late last night, early this morning, Dimmitt, LaSalle, McMullen counties, where we've had that exceptional drought for a few weeks, actually did pretty well with rainfall estimates over an inch and in some cases 2 inches down south along I-35. But then you go west, Brackettville, Sabinal, Uvalde, and even into Hondo, really not a whole lot to show for the recent rainfall. But look at Schertz. The winner, that's the bullseye, 3.66 inches. Stone Oak, about 3/4 of an inch. Downtown, about 0.84. You get to Alamo Ranch, and you're looking at a couple tenths of an inch. That's it. Rain chances going forward. Not all that impressive. A few 10% here and there, which is very insignificant. And then up to 20% by Saturday. So isolated afternoon and evening storms possible on Saturday. We don't have a whole lot of confidence in it, but if we do see anything develop, it could become strong to severe. Nothing to worry about right now. Odds are still pretty slim at the moment. Let's talk temperatures. 72 currently with the clouds. Dew point of 57. We had that north wind kick in yesterday behind the cool front. Dropped those dew points a bit, so it feels nice outside with a lack of humidity and lack of mugginess. And highs all across our area. We're in the 70s today. That's where we are right now for the most part. Del Rio 69, Cotulla 72, New Braunfels at 74, and 74 Port SA, Stinson at 77. A pleasant evening with that gradual temperature drop, and by tomorrow morning, we'll settle down right near 60 degrees. So waking up to temperatures, going to the bus stop, around 60 degrees, give or take a bit. I mean, 57 Bandera and Bulverde, and about 62 Port SA and 62 in Poteet. By tomorrow afternoon, I think we'll squeeze in a little more sunshine. That should boost us back to 80 degrees, right around 80 degrees for the high temperature, anywhere from 82 in Nixon to 77 for the high in Comfort by tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, we have that 10% chance in there. It's mainly to cover for a few sprinkles that could develop. So don't anticipate any real rain within that 10% chance. So here's our KSAT 12-hour forecast. Mostly cloudy, mainly gray tonight and to start the day tomorrow. Temperatures start off at 60 degrees at 7 a.m. By the noon hour, we're at 73, still mostly cloudy, And then I do think we'll squeeze in a few hours of sunshine later on in the day, especially by about 4 or 5 p.m., making it to about 81 with a southeasterly breeze at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Not overly windy, but I do want to point out you will notice the wind a lot more Thursday through the weekend and even into next week. Highs back to 90 degrees by Friday, and we're going to stay right there through the upcoming weekend.
Wow. Nice forecast. Thank you.
All right, let's say you're in the NFL draft. You can't decide who you want to draft. Who gets the call?
And when you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, you would think it would be Jerry Jones,
right.
But we've heard stories in the past where Steven has stepped in at times. Well, we'll put it to them when we come back. Who does make that call? The draft is just around the corner on Thursday, and former Spur, now Suns head coach Monty Williams fined coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
We're just 2 days away from the NFL draft, where the Dallas Cowboys own 9 picks, including the 24th overall in the first round. The Cowboys have needs on both sides of the ball. The departure of Connor Williams and Lael Collins on the offensive line and Randy Gregory on the defensive line. Most are expecting the Cowboys to use their first selection to pick an offensive lineman, such as the Aggies' Kenyon Green. But when it comes down to it, who has the final say in the Cowboys' war room? This was Jerry's hilarious response.
There's a lot of talk in this business about who makes the call, who actually makes the call. Okay, Taco was Steven's call. Parson is my call.
That's not that funny to me.
All right, during their pre-draft press conference today with head coach Mike McCarthy, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, and Vice President Stephen Jones, reporters wanted to know about the status of cornerback Kelvin Joseph, who was inside an SUV when shots rang out last month, killing Cameron Ray. After speaking with police, Dallas police, 2 arrests were made. He's been at the Star working out since the murder.
I have no information in any way that affects his status during this time of the year. Anything that would alter that are in the hands of any decision making that would regard the authorities or the league, of which have gotten no information on that, period.
All right, the NFL draft starts on Thursday, 7 p.m. You can see it live right here on KSAT 12. Former Spurs player and assistant coach, now Suns head coach Monty Williams, has been fined $15,000. That's after he publicly criticized the officiating in Game 4 of the first-round playoff series against New Orleans Pelicans after they lost 118-103 to even up their best of 7 series at 2 wins apiece. Monty was particularly upset with the free throw disparity, where the Pelicans went to the line 42 times compared to the Suns only 15.
Coaches shouldn't have to come up to the microphone and feel like they're going to get their heads cut off for speaking the truth. It was 17-2 in the first half, and then they end up with 42. That's hard to do in a game like that. And it's not like we don't attack the basket. That's really hard to do. And so, look, they outplayed us. They deserve to win. But that's a free throw disparity that you have to look at.
All right, the Phoenix Suns will try and take the lead back in what amounts to be a best-of-3 series now when they host the Pelicans tonight in Game 5. Right now, no Devin Booker. That's been the big problem for Phoenix at this point, besides the disparity in free throws.
He's giving you facts. He's giving you stats. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back.
A comfortable evening in the 60s, and you're not going to notice any mugginess in the air. Tomorrow morning, low clouds early, maybe a sprinkle, but that's it. It shouldn't get in the way of anything. By the afternoon, some sunshine from 60 at sunrise to 81 around 4 and 5 p.m. A southeasterly breeze at 5 to 15. It's back to 90 degrees by Friday. That'll be the case through the weekend, and a few isolated or stray pop-up storms possible later on Saturday.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you for watching the News at 5 with us.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.